Imagine two people working at the same company, earning the same salary, and putting in the same 10 extra hours each week. Fast forward 5 years, and their lives look completely different. One has quietly transformed their future, while the other remains exactly where they started. What made the difference? It wasn't luck or a secret formula. It was a single choice that seemed smart at the time. This video isn't about hustling harder or warning you off overtime. Instead, we're going to break down the real numbers, the ones most finance channels skip because they don't fit into a catchy quote. Let's meet Marcus and Sarah. Both work at the same company, earn $55,000 a year, and report to the same manager. Their desks are just 2 rows apart in the open plan office. One afternoon, they both realize they need more money and have exactly 10 free hours a week to change their situation. Marcus, ever the practical one, opts for overtime. Every Thursday and Friday, he stays late, clocks in, and watches his paycheck grow. It feels immediate and smart. Meanwhile, Sarah sits at her kitchen table late at night, building a website, sending pitches, and charging rates she's not confident in yet. In their first month, the numbers are clear. Sarah earns just $140 from her side hustle, while Marcus brings in over $1,500 in overtime. If you only looked at these numbers, you'd tell Sarah to quit and follow Marcus's path. And for now, you'd be right. But what happens over the next 5 years is rarely discussed honestly. This is where the real story begins, and where the math starts to reveal the truth behind each choice. Let's break down Marcus's numbers. He earns $26.44 an hour, but overtime pays time and a half, $39.66 per extra hour. Working 10 extra hours a week for 50 weeks, his gross overtime income is just under $20,000. That sounds incredible, and it's where most people stop calculating. But the real story is in the details that follow. Marcus doesn't keep all that money. His regular salary already puts him in the 22% federal tax bracket, and every overtime dollar is taxed at that same marginal rate, plus about 5% for state income tax. That means 27% of his overtime pay is gone before he even sees it. However, a new tax law allows employees to deduct up to $12,500 of qualified overtime from federal taxable income, saving Marcus about $2,700. After all taxes and deductions, Marcus walks away with approximately $17,850 a year from overtime. His effective take-home rate is $35.70 per hour. This is a reliable, guaranteed deal. The money appears in his account every 2 weeks, with no need to chase clients or worry about invoices. For many, this stability is worth more than any 5-year projection. But here's what most people miss. Marcus's earning ceiling is set by someone else. No matter how hard he works, his income is limited by his employer's hourly rate and the number of approved overtime hours. He has no control over these factors, and his income can't grow beyond this ceiling. Now let's return to Sarah. By every short-term measure, she's losing. She charges $25 an hour for design work, but only about 4 of her 10 weekly hours are actually billable. The rest go to writing proposals, learning new tools, revising work, and handling administrative tasks. Her year 1 gross revenue is $5,000, but self-employment tax takes a big bite. When you freelance, you pay both halves of Social Security and Medicare taxes, 15.3%, on top of regular income tax. After business expenses and taxes, Sarah's year 1 take-home is about $2,550. That's just $5.11 per hour, less than a fast food worker. This is the harsh reality most side hustle gurus never mention. If Sarah quit after year 1, no one could blame her. The numbers are discouraging and the work is hard. Year 1 of a side hustle is a bad short-term financial decision for most people. This is the number that separates those who are serious from those who aren't. But Sarah doesn't quit. She keeps going, and that's where the story changes. In year 2, Sarah's efforts start to pay off. She no longer starts from zero each month. She lands 3 repeat clients, raises her rates to $40 an hour, and now 7 of her 10 weekly hours are billable. Her year 2 take-home jumps to $7,780. She's still behind Marcus, but the gap is closing. By year 3, Sarah's portfolio is strong enough to attract higher-paying clients. She raises her rates to $65 an hour, and 8 of her 10 hours are now billable. She even starts turning down low-paying work. Her year 3 take-home is $14,587. Marcus, meanwhile, still earns $17,850. The gap has shrunk dramatically. Year 5 is where everything changes. Sarah now charges $95 an hour and has 2 anchor clients on monthly retainers. She's fully booked for 10 hours a week without sending a single cold email. Her gross side income is $47,500, and after expenses and taxes, she nets $25,831. Marcus in year 5 still earns $17,850. The lines have crossed. Marcus's overtime income remains flat, limited by his employer's rate and approval. Sarah's income, however, climbs steadily as her business grows. Same 10 hours a week, same 5 years, but completely different trajectories. This is the power of compounding effort and building something scalable. Let's look at the 5-year totals. Marcus takes home about $89,261. Sarah, after 5 years, has $71,414, $17,800 less in cash. On pure cash, Marcus wins. And that matters, especially if you have high-interest debt or face emergencies. It's important to note that the median side hustler earns just $200 a month, not $885. Half of all side hustlers never get past that number. If the story ended here, overtime would be the clear answer for most people. But there's more to the story. Here's the number almost no one talks about. Sarah built something. After 5 years, she has a client list, a portfolio, a brand, and a repeatable process. A service business generating $47,000 in annual revenue is conservatively valued at 2.5 times that figure on the open market, over $117,000 as a sellable asset. Marcus's overtime hours, if he stopped tomorrow, are worth exactly zero. Let's add it all up. Marcus has $89,261 in cash and no asset. Sarah has $71,400 in cash plus a business worth over $117,000. Her total value created is north of $188,000. The gap is undeniable. Sarah didn't just earn more. She built a machine that generates income whether or not her employer approves another overtime shift. This is the difference between trading time for money and building something that can eventually work for you. But there's a cost most people overlook. 67% of people with side hustles report burnout from juggling full-time work with extra projects. That's the majority, not the exception. Overtime workers aren't immune either. Chronic overtime has been linked to increased cardiovascular risk and long-term drops in cognitive performance. Your health is more important than any number on a paycheck. The real trap isn't overtime or a side hustle. It's choosing one without knowing which phase of your financial life you're in. If you're in financial triage, dealing with high-interest debt or an empty emergency fund, overtime is the clear winner. Take the guaranteed money and stabilize your situation before building something new. But if your foundation is stable, 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, no high-interest debt, and a skill people will pay for, a side hustle isn't just a side hustle. It's the beginning of an asset. Assets are what separate people who trade time for money forever from those who eventually gain financial freedom. Marcus still sits 2 rows away from Sarah. He has $89,000 more in his savings account than he did 5 years ago. That's real, and his life is stable. But it hasn't changed. He's still dependent on his employer for every extra dollar. Sarah, on the other hand, has a business worth more than her car. Her emergency fund is full, and last month she turned down a client because the rate wasn't right. She didn't make a dramatic exit or fire anyone. She quietly built something her boss will never control. The math didn't make the decision for Marcus or Sarah, but it does show exactly what each path costs and what it's worth. The numbers reveal the trade-offs and help you make an informed decision based on your own situation, not just what looks good in a thumbnail or what your coworker chose. The most important takeaway is to run your own numbers. Know which phase of your financial life you're in and decide based on what the math says about your situation. Don't be swayed by catchy quotes or what feels exciting today. The right answer for Marcus isn't the right answer for Sarah, and your answer might be somewhere in between. Context is everything. What works for one person may not work for another. Your financial needs, risk tolerance, and long-term goals all play a role in determining the best path for you. There's no universal answer, only the answer that fits your life right now. Short-term gains can be tempting, but they don't always lead to long-term success. Marcus's overtime strategy provides immediate rewards and stability, but it doesn't build anything lasting. Sarah's side hustle is a slow burn, but it creates opportunities and assets that can pay off for years to come. For some, stability is the most important factor. Knowing exactly how much you'll earn every month can provide peace of mind, especially if you have financial obligations or dependents. Overtime offers that predictability, and there's nothing wrong with choosing it if that's what you need. For others, the potential for growth and independence is worth the initial struggle. Building a side business is hard, especially in the beginning, but it can lead to greater rewards and flexibility down the road. If you're willing to invest the time and effort, the payoff can be significant. No amount of extra income is worth sacrificing your health. Both overtime and side hustles can lead to burnout if you're not careful. Listen to your body and set boundaries to protect your well-being. Your long-term success depends on staying healthy enough to enjoy it. Building a side business requires skills that people are willing to pay for. If you have a marketable skill, you're already ahead. If not, consider investing time in learning or improving one before diving into freelancing. The more valuable your skill, the faster your side hustle can grow. Sarah's journey shows that building a process is just as important as finding clients. Over time, she developed systems for pitching, billing, and delivering work. These processes made her business more efficient and allowed her to scale up without burning out. Repeat clients are the foundation of a sustainable side business. Sarah's income grew as she built relationships and secured ongoing work. Focusing on client retention can make your side hustle more predictable and less stressful over time. Confidence grows with experience. Sarah started out unsure of her rates and skills, but as she gained more clients and positive feedback, her confidence increased. This allowed her to charge higher rates and turn down work that wasn't a good fit. Learning to say no is a critical skill. Sarah reached a point where she could turn down low-paying or difficult clients, focusing instead on high-value work. This shift allowed her to maximize her earnings and reduce stress. Sarah's story is a lesson in compounding. Small improvements each year, raising rates, increasing billable hours, building relationships, added up to a significant difference over 5 years. Compounding works in business just like it does in investing. Marcus's path is stable, but it comes with the risk of stagnation. Without opportunities for growth or new challenges, it's easy to become complacent. Over time, this can limit your earning potential and job satisfaction. Owning a business, even a small one, gives you control over your income and future. Sarah's side hustle became an asset she could sell or scale. Ownership provides options that a traditional job rarely does. Flexibility is a key advantage of building your own business. Sarah can choose her clients, set her rates, and decide how much to work. This flexibility can lead to a better work-life balance and more satisfaction. Building a side business comes with uncertainty. There are no guarantees and the early years can be tough. It's important to be prepared for setbacks and to have a plan for managing risk. Not everyone will succeed, and that's okay. Having a support system can make a big difference. Whether it's family, friends, or a community of other freelancers, support helps you stay motivated and navigate challenges. Don't try to do it all alone. Ultimately, the power lies in your hands. You get to choose the path that fits your life, values, and goals. There's no right or wrong answer, only the one that works for you. Trust your judgment and make the choice that feels right. The answer that includes everything, your financial needs, health, skills, and goals, is the only answer that truly matters. Don't settle for half the story. Look at the full picture, run your own numbers, and make an informed decision. If this video made you think differently about how you spend your extra hours, consider subscribing. Every week, we break down the real numbers behind decisions like this one, so you don't have to figure it out alone. The answer that includes everything is the only answer that actually matters.